Section. Introduction. We're here to discuss the exciting advancements in the field of talking face generation, a rapidly growing area of research with applications in video conferencing, virtual assistants, entertainment, and more. Recently, researchers have started to incorporate emotion-conditioned facial expressions into talking face generation, using emotional annotations from video datasets like MEAD. However, there's still a long way to go in creating truly expressive and lifelike talking faces. There are a few key challenges in this field. First, it's tough to create expressive emotion and accurate lip syncing at the same time. Emotional expressions in datasets like MEAD often involve exaggerated movements of the eyebrows, eye blinking, and mouth shapes. But the sentences and audio content in these datasets aren't long enough to effectively train a model for precise lip syncing. To tackle this, the SPACE project used two additional non-emotional datasets, VoxCeleb2 and RAVDESS, alongside MEAD. However, this approach can result in synthesized emotional expressions that lack the desired level of expressiveness and dynamism. Another approach, EAMM, tried to solve this problem by integrating two modules, one for learning non-emotional audio-driven face synthesis and another for capturing emotional displacements of expressions. But this method also had its drawbacks, as it compromised the expressiveness of mouth shapes during emotional speech. The second challenge is modeling the subtleties and variations of emotional expressions. Emotional expressions involve many facial muscles and can vary significantly throughout a speech. Existing methods typically use LSTM or CNN networks to transform audio into facial representations. While these models can capture the movements of the mouth and lips during regular speech, they struggle to accurately portray the nuances and variations of emotional expressions. To overcome these challenges, we propose a new method called DreamTalk. This method uses a two-stage pipeline to achieve both expressive emotion and precise lip syncing. The first stage, the emo-diff module, captures the dynamic nature of emotional expressions. The second stage, lip refinement, ensures the precision of lip syncing in the generated talking faces. Our method uses a 3D ARCIT model to optimize lip motion, ensuring that the intensity of other facial expressions remains unaffected. This design choice guarantees that the expressiveness of emotions is not compromised by lip sync refinement, offering a more targeted and effective approach for emotion-rich facial animation. Our experimental results convincingly showcase DreamTalk's exceptional ability to model the intricacies and variations of emotional expressions from the input audio. This includes realistically capturing emotional movements in areas such as eyebrows, eye blinks, mouth shapes, and beyond. In summary, our contributions in this paper are threefold. 1. We propose a novel two-stage generative framework, DreamTalk, that achieves expressive emotional talking faces with audio-synchronized lip motion. 2. We introduce a diffusion module, emo-diff, that can generate diverse, highly dynamic emotional expressions and head poses in accordance with the audio and the referenced emotion style. 3. We present an emotional ARCIT dataset with precise isolation of mouth parameters from other facial attributes, well suited for the task of lip motion refinement. In the next section, we'll discuss related work in the field of audio-driven talking face generation. This involves creating a realistic and cohesive video of a person's speaking face, using audio input and, occasionally, an image or video of the speaker. We'll also delve into the growing focus on the development of emotionally expressive talking faces and the various methods and approaches used in this area. Section Summary. The field of talking face generation has made significant progress, but generating expressive and lifelike emotional expressions remains a challenge. Existing methods struggle to achieve both accurate lip sync and expressive emotion simultaneously. To address these challenges, we propose a two-stage generative framework called DreamTalk that effectively captures the dynamics and variations of emotional expressions while ensuring precise lip sync in the generated talking faces. Our experimental results demonstrate the exceptional ability of DreamTalk to realistically model emotional movements and enhance the synchronization of mouth movements with audio signals. Section. Method. We're going to discuss our method for creating more realistic 3D facial models, which are less affected by changes in head position compared to 2D models. Traditional 3D models, like 3D morphable models or FLAME, use a technique called principal component analysis to capture facial features. However, these models struggle to isolate specific facial movements, such as blinking or lip movements. To overcome this, we've chosen to use ARCIT blend shapes, a technology that separates mouth-related parameters from other facial features. This allows us to focus on enhancing the mouth region while keeping the expressiveness of other facial features. The ARCIT facial model has 52 unique parameters, each representing different facial features. It uses blend shapes based on the facial action coding system, which allows each facial expression to activate specific facial regions independently, in line with human facial anatomy. We then analyze these ARCIT parameters on each frame within the MEAD emotion dataset, creating a new dataset that aligns with the emotional nuances of the MEAD dataset. As far as we know, we're the first to create an emotion dataset with fully separated 3D facial parameters. Our goal is to generate 3D emotional expressions from audio, which is a challenging task. Mapping audio to expressions is a one-to-many problem, making it difficult to create dynamic and realistic expressions. Also, generating a sequence of 3D face expression parameters involves issues like continuity and diversity. To tackle these challenges, we propose the first diffusion-based model for generating 3D face expression sequences. We use a forward noising process where a data point gradually loses its distinguishable features as the process progresses, generating a sequence of latent variables. The reverse diffusion process estimates the joint distribution of these variables. The true sample could be generated from a noise input. To adapt to the conditional synthesis, we provide additional conditions to the model, including audio, initial state, and emotion style. In the reverse diffusion process, given a Gaussian noise, we use an equation to iteratively obtain the final results. We set the variances to a certain value with untrained time-dependent constants. We train our model by predicting the Gaussian noise at each time step. We train our conditional diffusion model by applying classifier-free guidance, which is widely used in recent diffusion-based works. The condition gets discarded periodically at random. The guided inference is then expressed as the weighted sum of unconditionally and conditionally generated samples. For the selection of the network architecture, we primarily considered two issues: how to incorporate different modality data, such as audio and 3D expressions, and how to generate the n-frame 3D face expression sequence different from images. We choose to use the transformer structure, which fuses the representation of different modalities and captures the long-term dependency with a cross-attention mechanism. Generating facial expressions with temporal continuity requires consideration of two issues. Firstly, our training dataset only includes T-frame input data. However, during testing, we may require longer testing audio, so we need to consider the continuity between generated sequences. To address this, we use the first frame of the generated sequence as the input feature condition and add it to the network, which constrains the initial state of the generated sequence. Additionally, we need to guide the network to capture the style of emotion expression. To achieve this, we use 3 frames of expression as a representation of emotion style. To prevent the style from representing audio information, we randomly sample 3 frames of expression during training. During testing, we first select an emotional clip of a character from the dataset, along with input audio. To ensure continuity between sequences, we randomly select 1 frame as the initial state, and subsequently use the last frame of the previous sequence as the initial state for the next sequence. This ensures the continuity of long sequences. To introduce diversity in each sequence generation, we randomly select 3 frames as the style each time, which allows for the generation of dynamic facial expressions within the overall sequence. Section Summary. 3D modeling techniques offer shape-invariant information, making them more effective than 2D landmark-based methods in maintaining consistent facial shape representation. By utilizing ARCIT blend shapes, which separate mouth-related parameters from other facial elements, precise control and optimization of various facial attributes can be achieved. Additionally, the proposed diffusion-based model for generating 3D face expression sequences addresses challenges such as mapping audio to expressions and generating dynamic and realistic expressions. Section. Lip refinement. We noticed an issue after we got dynamic emotional expressions, which we'll call X0, from our diffusion model. The model seemed to lessen the impact of the audio, causing a mismatch between the sound and the shape of the mouth. This is likely because the diffusion network is designed to create realistic sequences, which can sometimes overshadow the audio. To fix this, we developed a lip sync refinement network. This network uses the same audio and emotional data to adjust and create more accurate mouth parameters. Our lip sync network uses an LSTM structure for the audio encoder and a CNN structure for the emotion encoder. This setup effectively creates mouth-related parameters that match the input audio and emotional reference style. For a more detailed explanation of our lip refinement network, please refer to the supplementary materials. Next, we use these improved facial parameters and the generated head poses to animate a 3D blend shape rig. We then use GPU rendering to get corresponding 3D rendered avatar images, which we'll call it, tin, 0, n. After this, we use a video-to-video approach to create talking face videos for any character. Our tests showed a significant improvement in the synchronization between mouth movements and audio when we used lip refinement. After we get synthesized images, it, tin, 0, n, from an external GPU renderer, we use motion transfer techniques to create a realistic talking head effect for different subjects. We use the FaceVid2Vid method proposed by Wang et al. As the basic neural rendering pipeline, R. We also fine-tune the model using high-resolution expressive talking videos from the TalkHead 1HK dataset to improve expressiveness and rendering quality. To make sure we keep the identity consistent throughout the process, we use the relative mode technique developed by Shirohin et al. For neural motion transfer. We first render a reference frame, in, with neural expression and then apply the relative motion, m_, in right arrow it, which represents the transformation between talking frames and the neural frame, onto the source image, t. As a result, we get the final rendered outputs, r, t, m_, in right arrow it. All our experiments were done on a single V100 GPU using the Atom optimizer. The frame rate for all training datasets was set at 25 FPS. In the EMO-Diff module, our training mainly used two datasets, the MED emotion dataset and the HDTF multi-character dataset. Each sequence generated during training was 32 frames long. We trained for a total of 1,000 epochs with a batch size of 64 and a learning rate of 0.0004. For the lip refinement model, we used a sliding window of size, t equals 8 inches to extract training samples of audio features. The training process included 50 epochs with a batch size of 32 and a learning rate of 0.0001. We compared our method with other methods and found that Sad Talker and Make It Talk can't generate emotional speech. EAMM can produce emotional videos, but it doesn't maintain identity and doesn't include dynamic facial expressions, like eye blinking. EVP can generate emotional speech, but it also loses the dynamism of emotions and can't derive from a single image, limiting its use. In contrast, DreamTalk not only ensures dynamic emotional expressions, like generating high-frequency expressions like eye blinks, but also produces high-quality videos with accurate lip sync. We compared our work with three leading methods. Make It Talk and Sad Talker can't generate desired emotions from a single image. Make It Talk's 2D approach reduces image quality, while Sad Talker only provides neutral conversation. EAMM generates emotional speech but sacrifices emotion dynamics and video quality. Our method excels in emotional expression, lip sync, identity preservation, and image quality. We use standard metrics for lip sync and image quality in our comparisons. To measure the synchronization between lip movements and input audio, we used SyncNet, which measures the distance score, LSED, and confidence score, LSEC, to evaluate lip sync precision. We also used the landmark distance on the entire face, FLMD, to evaluate facial expression accuracy. For image quality, we used Learned Perceptual Image Patch Similarity, LPIPS, and Cumulative Probability Blur Detection, CPBD. Our model performed better than current leading methods. When comparing leading methods on MED and HDTF datasets, Make It Talk and Sad Talker maintain lip sync and image quality without considering emotion. However, adding emotion complicates lip sync and rendering. EAMM struggles to achieve both emotion and maintain lip sync and image quality. Our method successfully balances emotional expression with lip sync and image quality. Section Summary. The diffusion model used to obtain dynamic emotional expressions unintentionally reduced the influence of audio, resulting in a misalignment between the audio and mouth shape. To address this issue, a lip sync refinement network was introduced, which recalibrates and generates refined mouth parameters that closely align with the input audio and emotional reference style. The lip refinement network, along with motion transfer techniques and fine-tuning, improves synchronization between mouth movements and audio, resulting in realistic talking head videos with enhanced expressiveness and rendering quality. Section. Ablation Study. In our research, we conducted an in-depth study to answer 3 main questions. These questions revolve around the use of an auto-regressive generation method based on the initial state, the application of a style encoding technique with positional embedding, and the incorporation of lip refinement for lip sync results. Firstly, we explored the use of an auto-regressive generation method. Our aim was to create endless sequences, and for this, we needed a method that could produce continuous talking results. In our method, we used the final state of the previous sequence to generate the next one, ensuring a smooth transition between sequences. As shown in the figure, where we display the brow-down value sequence, it's clear that without this auto-regressive constraint, there would be a significant jump between generated sequences. Secondly, we looked at the use of emotional style embedding. Unlike the method used in EAMM, our emotional style uses positional embedding with a diffusion model. EAMM applies the same style to each frame, which reduces the dynamism of the emotional style, leading to overly smooth emotions that fail to capture high-frequency information, such as eye blinking. We compared the use of a uniform emotional code against our method of positional embedding. We found that our diffusion method, combined with positional embedding, effectively captures high-frequency information. We have a supplementary video for comparison. Thirdly, we incorporated lip refinement. While the diffusion network helps in generating dynamic emotions, we noticed that it struggles to produce sequences that fully align with the audio. So, we used a lip refinement model to further optimize lip motion based on the audio. As shown in the table, we evaluated the results using SyncNet and found that the use of lip refinement leads to more synchronized lip motion. We also conducted a user study due to the subjective nature of emotion, which makes quantitative evaluation challenging. We involved 20 users who compared the results of different speech generation techniques. We provided reference images and emotional information for evaluation. The evaluation results, as shown in the figure, indicate that while EAMM can generate emotion, it compromises video quality, leading to lower user ratings. Make-A-Talk and Sad Talker, while lacking in emotion generation, achieved better overall quality than EAMM. Our method, however, successfully maintains emotional intensity while achieving high-quality generation.